See this chicken right here? That's my chicken. Do you know whose chicken that isn't? It's not your chicken.
Do you know who made that chicken?
Nope, I don't know who made that chicken.
Consequently, that would make who the owner of this chicken?
I have no idea. This chicken magically appeared in this container and came to the studio. And thus, it being my studio, it's my chicken. How you like that? All right. Rico's missing his pants. Don't worry about that. Make a call. I'm gonna hang out in here. What's going on, nation? Just hanging out in the studio. Let's go turn on some lights. It's a little dark down here sometimes. But I have some cool stuff going on. We're going to be starting to do some Skype consultations. Now, I don't have everything set up right now, but actually this is gonna be the camera I'm gonna use for them. And I'm going to do the consultations. For the most part, the way the consultations are going to work is I'll have a whole page built for them, and you know, we'll require some information from you guys to see what you need help with and whatnot. But if I can do them at home, I'll do them at home. But if we want to go over exercises and routines and stuff like that, obviously we'll do them in the studio. And so the way this is set up is I can put the computer here, set all this up, and I can have it link to this television screen up here so that I can actually see myself, so I know what you're seeing when we're having the consultation. Let's go upstairs really quick. Turn on these lights. Almost fell. This area was basically full of boxes for the last, I don't even know how long, like 8 months, because we were obviously, you know, trying to buy a house, and we had storage and all that stuff going on. And I wanted to put these lights up here because they're so bright, and I think that if I aim them down, you know, it would look really cool. Let me just get this other one real quick. These lights are 1,000 watts a piece, so they're really bright. I'm gonna just flip this around, and we actually put dimmers on them. You can see right here. That's what this is. Turn that up a little bit. There we go. I might have to angle them down a little bit, but this just creates a little better lighting in here for when I film some videos. Listen, show your shirt. This is my cousin Kyle. This is friend Anthony. Been lifting with me for a little while now. Making some pretty good gains. Turn around. Yeah, there you go. You rocked that at school? All your friends are like, whoa, where'd you get that? And you're like, oh, my cousin got it for me, so cool.
My cousin loves me.
I'll get my own bar. So guys, today we're gonna be doing 5x5 on the deadlift, and then we're gonna go right into our circuit. So let's make sure you get everything set up. What I like to do, because I only have a certain amount of weights, is I put the bumper plates on first, and then I'll put my regular plates on. That way, if I need to drop or bail, at least the bumpers are hitting the ground first before the big plates. Look at her. This is what we gotta do. Before every workout, she does her photos, and then when we're done, she does all of her other photos, and then she has lots of photos.
Oh, look who's talking. Mr. takes photos of himself flexing 30 times a day. And my lying card knows, and so does Anthony.
It's not even true. So check this out. So this is my Hydra cup. I'm filling one side with aminos to make sure I drink them, and then the other side is just water. I've been giving away a bunch of these cups. If you haven't got one yet, just keep watching out for my contests. It's gonna explode. There we go. The cap, if you, remember? When I poke myself in the eye. So you gotta be careful with these cups, because I went to go chug like hardcore, and this thing flipped and I jammed it right in my eyeball. And it actually has a safety on it. If you pull it down, it locks. So just make sure you lock it. So we're gonna start this circuit out with the 5x5 deadlift. Now this is actually my second set. The first set I did 225 for 5 reps. It was more of a warm up. This is 275 right now. I have not been able to do heavy deadlifting since probably before December started. So December and January were a lot of traveling months for me, so I'm working back into my 5x5. This is 315 right now. Usually when I do my 5x5s, I do my warm-up with 315, but you know, when you're getting back into lifting, you don't want to hurt yourself. You want to make sure, especially when it comes to strength, that you're taking baby steps because you don't want to get injured. And now this is 405, working once again on my form, trying to make sure that I'm not going into flexion with my lower back. But 405 felt pretty good. I was able to get the 5 repetitions using my switch grip, and I decided from here that I was going to go after 425. And I was really excited. It's my first time going after 425, like I said, since before the holidays. And my first rep, you can start to see my back taking over on the exercise, which wasn't too good. But at the top of the movement, I reset myself. I took in a breath, as you guys saw, and I was able to keep my form pretty tight on the next 4 repetitions. At this point, I'm pushing through my legs so hard. I mean, I can feel everything being activated. My arms are strained. My glutes and quads are on fire, pushing through here. And it just felt good to get the heavy weight back up again. Done deadlifting, now we're going to move on to the circuit. We're going to do circuit 1, 4 rounds, circuit 2, 3 rounds, circuit 2's an ab circuit. Circuit 1 is going to be a little bit of everything. The first exercise you guys are going to do in this total body circuit is going to be the squat to overhead press. Now you guys want to make sure on here a few things. You want to make sure you start off with light weight, maybe try the exercise a couple times first, because it does come down to form, and you want to make sure you're going as low as you can and you feel comfortable going that low so you don't throw yourself off balance. And you also want to make sure that as you're pressing up, you don't want to go too fast if it's a new exercise for you, because you really don't want to slam the bar into the bottom of your chin and chip a tooth or bite your tongue, because that's happened to me before. So you really make sure you pay attention on this exercise. As soon as you're done, finish up. I'm going to go right over into pull-ups. Now, I decided to do my pull-ups a bit differently because I have access to my monkey bars. And so the way I did my pull-ups, instead of just doing 15 continuous reps, is I actually did a pull-up, monkey bar, pull-up, monkey bar. Then when I got to the end, I turned around. So I'm doing a total of 8 pull-ups. But what I liked about this is it makes it a little more challenging because you have to keep your body from swinging as you go from bar to bar to be able to do the pull-up, or else you'll just be flailing all over the place with your body. And so these were pretty intense. And this is, like I said, this is my 4th round already. So I was already pretty fatigued getting to those, but I like the challenge. Now for the alternating jumping lunges, you're doing 15 reps per side, and as you guys can see, I'm doing a 1-2 count before I switch feet. So what you want to do is focus on doing that 1-2 switch and trying to go as fast as you can with it. I slowed it down a little bit for the video just so you guys could see what was going on. But once again, when you do the lunge, make sure you're landing in proper form for the lunge. So your knees not passing your toes, and you're forming 90-degree angles with your knees. Also, be sure to keep your chest up and breathe regularly as you're doing the exercise. Don't hold your breath because you'll probably fatigue much quicker. As soon as you finish up here, we're going to go over to do the leg curls. Now, I have a TRX and a Jungle Gym from Lifeline USA. I mean, you guys can pretty much use anything you can find that you can strap your feet into. But the goal here when you do this exercise is it's much more than just curling your legs. See how I lifted my hips up into the air right there? When you're doing the laying hamstring curl, you want to try to keep your torso and hips, basically from your knees to your shoulders, as straight as possible. And I've also found that it's much easier to perform repetitions with this exercise if you put your hands behind your head and kind of drive your chin into your chest. It gives you more of a range of motion as you perform the repetitions. All right, Take a 45-second break, hit it again, 4 rounds. Then we'll move on to abs. Now for your ab circuit, you're gonna do 3 exercises. You're gonna do 3 sets each, so 3 rounds. You're doing 15 reps per exercise. You will notice that I'm wearing my inversion boots. It's gonna make some of the exercises harder, but I'm actually gonna be doing upside down crunches. If you don't have a pair of inversion boots, you can just do hanging leg raises. So it doesn't matter if you don't have these, you can still do the workout. You started with V-ups.
I love V-ups. It's a very challenging exercise, not only for your core, but it also has to work on your coordination and stability. Now, when you're doing a weighted V-up, what I found worked best is to take in a breath before each repetition to make sure your core is nice and solid so you don't flail all over the place as you're trying to lift your legs and touch your toes. It also helps to actually flex your glutes a little bit while doing the exercise. Just make sure as you come up, you're squeezing and contracting your core as hard as possible to really intensify the exercise. And you do want to make sure you get your shoulder blades up off the ground as well. If your shoulder blades don't come up off the ground, it's not going to be as intense as possible.
Now actually, if you're doing this with weighted or even ankle weights on, it does help to take in that breath, create that internal belt so you don't collapse when you go down. I'm hoping if I keep doing these, I'll be able to do those rocky crunches. Second exercise, standing oblique crunch. 15 per side.
Now for the standing oblique crunch, you really want to make sure that you're dipping as low as you can and you're squeezing and contracting your core as hard as possible, really trying to get that muscle control and squeeze your obliques on the way down and on the way up. It's much more than just kind of tilting side to side with a dumbbell in your hand. If you're just doing that and you're not focusing on muscle control, you're not maximizing the exercise. Once you're done on one side, you're going to switch hands, and again, you're really focusing on squeezing your core, really focusing on trying to make that mind-muscle connection to your obliques as you crunch down and then to the other side. Now, I don't know why my hand does these weird things, but it helps me focus on the exercise, so that's why I do them. It also helps to put your hand behind your head too. You want to make sure you're keeping your body as upright as possible. A lot of people have a tendency to lean forward while they do that exercise.
Last exercise, some Goku crunches.
And now for the inversion crunch. If you do have a pair of inversion boots, definitely do this exercise. If you don't, you can just do a regular suspended leg raise. But as you can see, I'm using dumbbells. I'm really intensifying the exercise. And the goal with the inversion crunches is you need to make sure you're not swinging back and forth and using that momentum to perform the crunch. You want to try to keep your legs as straight as possible. There's a slight bend in my knees. That's normal. But you want to make sure your core is doing the work. You don't want to swing the dumbbells to get yourself up into the crunch position, because that defeats the whole purpose of actually using the dumbbells. This exercise is awesome. My core is on fire at this point, and man, it was a great workout today.
Didn't want to stop on those. It was getting hard. So you guys have it. It's an example of one of my circuits I do. Usually what I'll always do is start with some sort of skill or strength movement. Lately it's always been deadlifts. And then I'll work also on my muscle ups. And we're starting to work on being able to do more bar work as well. I mean, you got these guys on YouTube doing amazing things in the bars. I want to be able to do them too. Right? I'm a little jelly, I'm not gonna lie. So, this is gonna be the next fun thing. Why don't you come over here, Bubba? I must be amped up in those Goku crunches. Get your bottom arm straight.
It's easy, let me go. I'm gonna drop.
Okay. Now straighten out your body, push your hips forward. There you go. Now, get that upper arm a little higher if you can. There you go. Can you let that bottom arm slide a little? Get it nice and straight. Now pull your body in. Well, like this. Yay! Good job. We'll get there. All right, we're out. See you next time.